teams was never fair. I'd rather be this starving artist, experience life now at its farthest. One blue sky, we are under, torn and shred now ripped asunder. The politics, war and famine, I thank God I'm still here jamming. Train your mind.
Attack me? What mischief is this?
What can be more euphoric than a wondrous bath? Welcome to today's episode of Euphoric Intentions. Austin here. And here is in a bathtub where I'm enjoying the soapy, sudsy, cleansing nature of bathing. As it refreshes my body, it somehow also refreshes my mind as the steamy goodness of the whole environment just allows me to just be immersed in, a whole feeling and just a vibe of relaxation and of renewal. And it's like, only the things that have happened that I agree with happening are a part of me from here on out. It's like I'm washing away everything previously that I don't necessarily approve of. And what it is that adheres to me from this point onward is only that which I myself acknowledge. So, I'm going to upload this video cropped in or overlaid with my latest video of gaming. And I'm going to do a Diablo video. I used to be super good at Starcraft, but it's like Call of Duty. If you're not playing it constantly on a day-to-day basis, then you just lose, all of those reflexes that you've acquired from playing. And they introduce new maps, they introduce new guns or new characters or things to that extent, and then all of a sudden it's like you're not entirely learning, from start or scratch, but you pretty much might as well be, because everybody else that you're playing against seems to literally have the game down to a T, and you can't make one mistake, otherwise you're ousted pretty quickly. If you watched my previous video of me playing some Starcraft 2 for the first time in a long time, that's what actually happened. I mean, it seems like I may have gotten a few people, like right off the start, but then I wasn't able to finish game. My macro game and my micro game were pretty off. And so it didn't translate to any long or lengthy games or any games of victory in that, in that sense or in any sense, because I just wasn't able to really finish my moves or, work on my micro game while I was trying to have a macro game and all of those different things. So it just didn't really translate that well into effective games on my end, at least, maybe for the other people. But if I really wanted to, the video stated that I was on the road to the Diamond Road. And that was kind of like the beginning of my journey to find the journey to success. And so if I'm to take it that way, then I guess that's a good starting point. It ranked me in Brawn 1v1. I remember last time that I achieved Platinum League status, I think that's where I started out, was Bronze, but I was doing everything right. I was looking up build orders. I was looking up build orders of the other races. I mainly play Protoss because that's what I'm comfortable with. That's what I've played ever since, Starcraft, like Brood War. And, I was watching my own replays where I went wrong, watching my mineral count, watching my supply limits when I was actually getting supply capped, and when my spending of resources wasn't, keeping the amount of resources in my bank like at a high amount, so that I was constantly either building units, teching up, or upgrading certain things. And that's just kind of what I failed to do. It was just, it's a highly stressful game. It's like a chess match which is on steroids, and you have your timer right there, but it's like, it's just like that chess match on steroids. And so I decided these next couple videos, I'm going to play just a couple more laid back games. I don't want to like totally ruin Starcraft for me right off the bat, because that's kind of what can happen is like, if you don't find any success, you can just ruin the game right off the bat for yourself, So yeah, I'm going to be playing Diablo a little bit. It's probably one of the better games, or the games I'm better at. I do think it is a better game as well. I really enjoy the game, so I guess both definitions apply. But anyways, the character that I'm playing, this wizard, is pretty, he's pretty good. For not having done anything inside of the auction house. I don't really buy any goods. I don't really go or buy any goods from any online store or website outside of Diablo or Battle.net, and I haven't really purchased any things within Battle.net. And some people might say that you're kind of limiting yourself right there, and that's a stupid play on your part because you're not taking advantage of the game mechanics which are at hand. And yeah, that might be true, but for some reason it's just like, I kind of like, adventuring around and finding my own gear and equipment. It makes it that much more exciting when I find the legendary and building my abilities around that legendary item, rather than me, kind of like just going there and spending money, whether it's real money. I don't think they do the real money auction house anymore. That's how long it's been since I've played, like on a routine, basis. They used to have the real money auction house. I haven't even checked to see if the real money auction house is still up. But I haven't really spent in-game gold on any items either. Everything I have has been found. And yeah, so I'm gonna be playing some of that. My wizard build is pretty standard. Like, I have like a freezing mechanic set up so that if people come in a vicinity, close to my vicinity, then what happens is they're frozen, but then it amplifies all my electrocution damage. And so I play on all this amplifiers, and I try to play off what my gear does as well. So yeah, there's that. And then, also, I'm gonna actually hide a little Easter egg within this video. So, how to make rocket fuel, right? And this video, or this story is purely made up, right? It holds no validity in reality. If I describe any form of events which you may perceive to have taken place within my actual life, it's a lie. It's not real. And if the procedure and formula which I describe actually corresponds to a procedure or formula which in reality may actually have validity, it's pure coincidence, folks. So anyways, rocket fuel. How to make your own rocket fuel and wind up in space, folks. So anyways, first off, you're gonna want to gain admissions into a university. All right, so there you go, gain admissions into a university. Now you're going to want to select a major which has its focus in science, which will eventually give you access to a laboratory. And right, so you're going to gain access to a laboratory. You're going to learn the mechanisms which are involved in the functions of reality itself, so that you can take advantage of how things react and behave, so that you can actually manipulate them to behave in the way that you want, to give you the desired outcome which you're seeking. So yeah, have a focus in science, gain access to a laboratory. one in which you can gain access to hexane, cyclohexane, bicyclohexane. It's a chemical solvent. And it's one which is used primarily in the food and drug industry to extract oils and biochemically active substances from plant materials. So anyways, you're going to borrow some hexane from the laboratory, which you've gained access to. Possibly you have access to it because you're an undergraduate researcher, which gives you ample amounts of time alone within a lab by yourself, and you are then able to proceed forward with the formula, which I am hypothetically describing within this totally fictional and made up story. So yeah, so acquire that chemical in a decent amount, and then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find the dankest dealer you can in regards to cannabis. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get a significant amount of this cannabis, enough to fill like a mason jar full that you can close, right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to grind all this plant matter up, and you are then going to place all the plant matter within this mason jar, and then you are going to actually pour in as much hexane that, stops just short of overflowing out of your container. Now, you're going to want to close the lid, and you're going to want to put this in the fridge overnight. And you're going to want to wake up and shake the lid furiously, or the container furiously, about 4 or 5 times during, however long a period that you're doing this extraction for. You're just extracting the active substances within the cannabis material that you acquired. And so then what you're going to do, you're going to shake this profusely, 4 to 5 times over the period that you leave it in there. Preferably, I just did it overnight, or didn't do it. And then what you're going to do is the next morning, you're going to want to have lab grade ethanol, 100% ethanol. This isn't like, a lot of people will use Everclear, but even that's diluted. If you have access to a laboratory, then you're going to have pure laboratory grade or, medicinal grade chemicals, food grade chemicals, and therapeutic grade chemicals. Whether it's the hexane or whether it's the cannabis or whether it's the actual ethanol that you're actually going to use later on in the extraction process to purify the product even more. So, you're going to want to do that. And then you're going to want to have a coffee filter or some just standardized, chemistry filters. The pores don't need to be something that is measured to an exact science. You're just primarily filtering out plant matter at this point. So then the next morning you're going to take your jar out. You're going to have another jar at hand, and you're going to want to wear gloves, because what's going to happen is all of this stuff will become soluble, or it can be absorbed through your skin, and it will fuck you up if you get this on your skin. If you spill a significant amount on you, you're going to be fucked. So you don't want to do that. You want to wear gloves, and you're going to want to wear something that insulates your skin from the gloves itself so that it doesn't have the ability to seep through the gloves as well. Then you're going to want to filter off all the plant matter, pour this into another container. And then what you're going to want to do is you want to evaporate off as much hexane as you can. So you can put your stove on a very low setting, or you can, if you have a nice warm sunny day, hexane's boiling point is actually low enough that you can put this outside and it will evaporate off during the duration of the day if you're in a warm enough and hot enough environment. Well, anyways, if you're going to do this inside, make sure it's well ventilated. And so, then what you're going to want to do is evaporate off our chemical, which we use to extract all of the biochemically active molecules and chemicals within our cannabis material. And you're going to want to evaporate that off. Obviously, don't evaporate so much off. You're going to start burning your substrate or your substance itself, because that would be bad. And you're going to lose yield if you do that. So then anyways, we're gonna want to actually filter out as much of this hexane as we can as possible. We want to put it in a more, a substance which is more friendly towards our own biosphere. So we're gonna take the ethanol and we're going to actually dilute this again within the ethanol, and then we're gonna do the same thing again. We're going to actually purify our compound, and we are then going to evaporate off all of the ethanol as much as we can. And you're going to be left with a pretty sticky, gooey substance. And it's not going to be that significant of an amount. You're going to have to literally use quite a bit of cannabis to yield an amount that you think is a significant amount. But anyways, don't look at how small of a yield you actually obtain in relation to the amount of cannabis you use as a factor to gauge, your yield. Because I'm going to tell you, this stuff is so potent that literally you need like a drop of a pinprick from a needle to actually have results that will be, in a sense, your rocket fuel. So anyways, now we're going to evaporate off all the ethanol. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use coconut oil. Coconut oil is something which can, what is called, simply diffuse across the membrane within your digestive system. And it will actually transport the substance that we want into our actual body. And as soon as we actually put our substance or the chemical that we want and we allow it to be extracted again further or isolated or pretty much be transported, by something which can simply diffuse across our membrane, our digestive membrane. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna put the coconut oil in with your ethanol and cannabis, product that you have, and you are going to once again put this and mix this together. Now, you don't want to necessarily evaporate off your product now. You're going to want to pour your substance that you have now into a gelatin capsule. And you can acquire gelatin capsules, from a health food store, right? They have everything that you would need to actually make your own drugs or pills. And this can actually be a freeing moment for you, because what you're going to realize is that all of the drugs which medicinal and pharmaceutical companies actually, prescribe towards individuals can actually be isolated by you at your home. But in a lot of ways, they have a monopoly on the market because they deem it as an illegal substance for you to grow. And this isn't just in regards to cannabis, it's in regards to a multitudes of different pharmaceutical goods, in that they restrict your ability to actually grow the substance at your home so that they can actually turn around and resell you the product, which they then actually utilize the same technique to make the medicine that they're prescribing you. So it's this whole evil, corrupted monopoly that's a part of the actual healthcare industrialized complex, or medicinal industrialized complex, whatever you want to call it. It's an evil enterprise. I had multiple different professors which got job offers within the pharmaceutical industry, and they actually discovered the disgusting part of the market and of the actual enterprise itself. And so they just became teachers. They wanted to educate people and give them the power to be able to actually do this stuff on their own, rather than being powerless and subjects to corporate facilities and corporations and monopolistic government-like entities. So anyways, you're gonna pour all this into your capsules. You're gonna let it solidify. You're gonna store this in a cool, dry, place. And, you can put one of those little, absorbing cotton swabs and silica things to absorb oxygen in with your capsules, whatever you want. Now, I would recommend taking a small amount at first, and then you can eventually find out the proper dosage for yourself. If you want this to be something that you can smoke out of a vaporizer or a conventional pipe, then you are going to stop short of adding in the coconut oil, and you are just going to leave it in the ethanol extracted product. and then you're gonna dab this on to whatever it is that you're smoking. You can smoke it just straight, or you can mix it with, you know, the plant material that you would normally smoke anyways. If you just smoke it straight, it's gonna be like the cleanest, you know, feeling that you're ever gonna gain by utilizing this medicinal plant. Okay, and same with ingestion. But just be careful and be aware of, and plan it out beforehand. It's like a lot of people, like, for example, I reside in Utah right now, and I used to work for the liquor store, and they don't sell any of their liquor cold. You literally buy it warm, and they don't refrigerate any of it. And they do this for a specific reason, because they think that people that buy it warm are going to go home, think about what they're doing. They're going to plan out the event beforehand while the product actually cools off. And it's a very smart technique that this government has actually instituted. A lot of people get pissed off about it because they just want to, obviously they want to just buy it and go get drunk right there, which the government is restricting them from doing that by actually placing an additional procedure in the pathway itself, which causes you to actually be much more aware of what you're doing and actually be smart about how you're doing it. So you plan out the event beforehand, you refrigerate it all, and you think about what you're going to do and all these different things, and then you're restricted to doing it in an environment such as your home where you have to refrigerate it, yada yada yada. And so it's a pretty smart technique used by these government agencies. And so anyways, you're going to want to plan this out because, for example, you, and again, this is just another hypothetical story, you might just take a couple of these and go to like your biology class and then be sitting there and then just like all of a sudden just stand up and walk out because you just wanted to. And then you just end up going back home and going on an adventure with all of your roommates. So yeah, plan it out beforehand, make sure that it's like, you know, some day that you have off, and you definitely have days to like recuperate and things to that other extent, just like you would do if you were doing other substances as well, so that you didn't necessarily have conflict with other things which take priority over, you know, utilizing substances for their enjoyable effects. So yeah, anyways, there you go. And I hid this little short story that I totally made up and is totally fictional and not fact within a video of me playing Diablo. So whoever, if any of you made it through this video, then you just gleaned a little bit of information and insight into something which you can utilize if you find yourself in the proper place to actually utilize this technique, and it is something that you would want to take part in, then I would say go for it, but just do it smart. If you're smart enough to make this product, then you're probably smart enough to actually use the product in a smart manner and in a way which won't be detrimental towards your waking life. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of my video of me playing Diablo. The rest of the video is going to be me actually commenting on Diablo itself. And who knows, maybe I'll transition the video of Diablo into playing Heroes of the Storm. We'll see how my computer's running. Also, I would recommend getting a MacBook, an Apple product. Why is that? Because I've had my MacBook ever since 2009, the year I graduated. It's 2017, and I can still run up-to-date games, although it be on a very low and minimal setting. It just doesn't seem like PC products allow you to do that. Even growing up, for the portion of my life that I didn't have my MacBook, you know, I was constantly turning over my PC to keep up with technology itself and the rate at which technology advanced in regards to gameplay. And I was constantly having to turn over my system like every 3 to 4 years. But with my MacBook, well, I've had that for 8 years now, and I can still run games on a minimal setting, but I can still run these games. And I haven't had any major issues with my computer at all. So I would definitely recommend an Apple product. You know, right now I'm using an Apple iPhone 7 to record pretty much all my videos, and then I'm doing all my editing on my MacBook Pro. Although, you know, doing the editing restricts me from doing really anything on my computer, because rendering all the video and actually processing and writing the files takes up a large amount of processing power. And then also it kind of restricts me from playing games at a frame rate that I would deem acceptable for not only play, but then for video playback as well. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the content, the information. If you didn't, hit dislike, I don't care. If you liked it, put a like, subscribe, whatever. Peace out, y'all. Train your mind, now hear my words. Twitter pated little birds. If you've kept up with all my posts, then your life's just like a ghost, already dead in the machine. The screen and life, one's in between.